Alright, so how y'all doing today? I just want to take time to explain a little bit at the beginning of this video. I'm just going back and fucking with a game that I played when it was originally out. This came out in early 2000 and has gone free to play since the last time that I've played it, so coming back and revisiting a little bit. This is one of my original accounts. The original account that I had was set up with information that I don't remember, so not going to get that one back. The other video that I recorded was playing with this character, which was in the typical newbie area of the old game, which I guess still exists. They don't. If you create a new character in that area and then jump back into the game, they don't port you to like the new area, or at least that's what I'm thinking. It is an nanomage. It is, the metaphysicist. So these are two that I have are, the nanotech, Soltris, and Fixer, which quite possibly if I made a new character in this one, it wouldn't jump to the new area, but, I'd have to create a new character and make them just like this one. Debris being nanomage to see if they jump to that new area or not. I would suspect that they would, because I think that's the new starter area that they got. And I'll jump into one of these two characters to show you what I'm talking about. But this is just for fun, guys. I'm just doing it for shits and giggles. Someone in one of my videos in the past had posted, "What's this video about?" And my fucking answer was, "What, you don't fucking read?" I put it in the title of all the videos that I upload, but there's some fuckers out there with some severe ADD that I guess they just want everything spoon-fed. They want to be talked to. They want to hear it so they don't have to do anything freaking that remotely requires brain activity. But, funny. I'm sure you've run across those. Anyway, that's just me fucking ranting and raving. So, again, this is just for fun. This is me screwing around. You got this area just had, from the other video, if you watch it, just had them going around the newbie area, leveling up, doing the little class missions that show you what to do, how to do stuff, things like that. Had a bunch of bots run around, or mobs, whatever you want to call them, that were alien invasion. And the new area is basically, you've got the workers protesting the corporations and stuff like that, which has been going on forever, real world. So, scenario makes sense that they would fall back on something like that. But to the extent and involvement of it, it kind of makes you wonder if sometimes that games and movies can't predict the future, right? But it is a game. I'm just here to play for fun. You're probably here going, "What the hell are you talking about? Get the fuck on with it." So we'll go ahead and jump in and I'll shut the fuck up. And that's going to have to be edited out. Okay, so now we're doing the server I can't load shit. Try one of these art characters real quick. And of course that one starts. So again, it's gone free to play since the last time that I played it. This is like an alternate account from when I was playing before. I don't remember the information for my original account, so I won't be playing that. I think I've lost it actually, so I'm not going to be able to recover that one, which means I only have that one character from right around the original time, maybe a couple years after it was being had been released, that I was playing. But the two other characters, this one included, is new and comes to the new area also. But yeah, it's kind of free to play, so now you get ads about buy this shit. You know, it's how they make money, right? To support the game. Or if you want to really call it, you know, I don't know if you call it support. I think it's just them making money off of old shit. But this is the new area. The new starter zone, so, and the other area had absolutely no one in it. You know, I was there basically by myself, and as soon as I made these other characters, you can see these other people are playing. When I originally made them, you know, I'd have like up to like 10 characters run around this fucking noob area, so there are people that are still playing it. And I think that the shader, I don't know if I'm going to be able to just darken it up and it will look alright. I'll show you a difference in what I'm talking about here. Be able to differentiate between the two, even in a YouTube recorded and recompressed video. Where this one right here, it is darker, it's more centralized, you know, it has a lot more screen shading going on, which in this game, the way they do their shaders, it changes. You see as I'm just scanning around, or as the time is changing, that it almost like flickers on the screen. That's because I have the global filter that's applied to the entire screen active in this particular setup that I've got, and the game doesn't handle it well. It doesn't flush out smoothly. Now the other one, but I like the coloring. Looks a little bit more industrial, you know, looks a little bit darker, a little bit more, you know, like Blade Runner compared to like Pokemon or some shit like that, right? A little bit more realistic for an outdated game, graphics-wise. And if I switch back to my other one, this one doesn't have that layer of shadow, so I don't get any of that screen flickering, but it changes pretty drastically the way that the coloring of the game, the way it looks and feels as I'm playing it. It's no longer, well, you can see the difference. And so one of the things I was hoping is that if I did do this, I could go in here and go to the video settings and screw with the brightness and the contrast enough to where I could get it to look, without the use of that filtered shader, enough like the other one that I was running, but I wouldn't have the flickering going on. And yeah, maybe that might work. Really kind of sucks because I do like having that layer on the screen to kind of dull everything out. That, I mean, you'll even be able to tell the difference if it's going to be dark, guys. But switch back to this one. You'll notice the change in the lighting and the surface coloring and shading, and screwing with the gamma and the contrast and everything has even changed that a little bit. But I'm still getting the shading shifts using this profile right here. So I think I might have gotten it close enough to what I was looking for with this one, but it's not going to like have any kind of fogged effect on, you know, atmospherics, if that makes sense. But we'll go ahead and play with this one and see what it looks like. Still looks a lot better than this, which is the original. This is with the shading turned off, and that's with the shading on. And there's a little bit more detail in it. You can probably see it better on screen than you can in the recording. But if I go to this one, you know, there's a huge difference, and that has to do with that shading layer, just the way it looks, where it's a lot. It looks like it has more depth running this one, in my opinion, but neither here nor there. I'll shut up now and start playing. Okay, so current objective with this one is just to kill the any kind of robots at the junkyard. This mission I got from this guy right here, and basically you come into this this entire area right here, and anything that's in here you just gotta kill. Yeah, it looks like that guy's done a pretty good job of killing things in here already. And the game doesn't have a, I mean, it's an old ass game, so it's almost at the level of like a turn-based. These things definitely are not aggroed. If I was standing this close to something that was aggressive, I would aggro it, and it'd be attacking me right now. It would probably call all of its buddies around the area, and they'd be attacking me. But in the newbie zone, I can just sit right here and screw with them and do what I got to do, take my time, see if any of them have any kind of loot. Think of this as a more advanced, kind of like a boss bot, or a boss mob. Probably couldn't handle them. There's color coding that shows you what level the mob is that you're attacking. Green is a real safe bet that you can take them down with what you got. This one, even though it's the same color as that one over there, this is just a regular mob. Whereas this, like I said, is kind of like the boss mob or the leader. So these are fine, you know, taking on normal hit points. You know, not buffed in any way. I do think yep, we even have a backpack here. So one of the things I did is I copied my, because I had this all set up, and this is not the default setup for the UI. I like the bars down here, not way in the upper left, where I actually have to shift and turn my head, you know, real world, to see what my health is and take my focus off of what's in the middle of my screen. So basically placed everything differently. All of this stuff right here, which I think I have the toolbar locked. Which, if I can remember where the hell that setting was. Actually, I thought it was under Control Center. Maybe I'm just skipping over it because I'm trying to look at it too fast. Yep, right there. So all this stuff is from my other character, so I can go ahead and clear this toolbar. And this character isn't as flushed out as the other one. So I do have stuff in my inventory that I can't wear yet due to stat assignment. You know, as far as abilities, I haven't done shit. Defense and all this is just straight. And I have all those points right there to put into these. If you notice that, like, if I were to try and equip this, it will tell me that computer literacy needs to be up to at least 20 to wear that. This right here opens up and gets attacked. So there are a couple things that will attack you in this area. But more often than not, I think the fleas are the only thing that you can aggro. But if I go back to, let's see, it was in... That was a nano cascade. What was that? Computer literacy. There's your first aid. This is for the use of your healing. You know, if you're soloing, you want these up. If you're not soloing, if you had a doctor, you could, you know, not focus on these two as much. If you're soloing, like I would in this game, because it doesn't have the population to support. Unless you got together with a bunch of friends and played the game. Okay, so under trade and repair, computer literacy, so 3 more. Go ahead and ramp that up and then be able to equip that. And it has a little timer on it for when you can do that. And what that does is it opens up these decks, and then you can put shit in there, which basically augment any kind of abilities that you got going on. That's just a buff. And this is some crap that I picked up off of one of those. But anyway, you can get items that you can augment and put them in your decks down here by wearing this item right here, this belt. This belt is slotted. This particular one opens up, you know, 2 slots, so I can have 2 decks to augment anything. If you're familiar with what's the game that I'm thinking of? Not the D&D, but the cyberpunk paper, you know, on with paper, pencil, and dice. This game really kind of reminds me of that kind of cyberpunk, as far as the tech class of having all this augmented gear that enhances your character's abilities. Just think of it like that, and you'll understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the belts and shit like that. And basically I'm just going to use this pack for overflow. Of things that I really can't use. Just keep it out of my main inventory. So this newbie area has all these question marks all over the place that explain shit. The original game, yeah, that our area from the other video doesn't have any of this shit. It doesn't have all these NPC vendors all over the place either. It has, like, I think 2 guys and the factions where you can select your faction that you want to belong to. This one's a little bit more story driven. See if I can remember where the area where they're all protesting the corporation. Yep, there they are. So you got one faction out here that you can belong to. And you got the other faction inside here that you can belong to. You talk to these guys, you get missions. And the protest guys, I think it's this guy, one of these guys, that you can join that, and you can start doing missions for you know, whichever faction that you actually want to belong to. Playability and being able to understand and gain a better feel of it. This area is a lot better than the original one. I think it explains it a lot more. It does a little bit more hand-holding as to what you're going to do. All you guys watching the video that have any kind of ADD going on, I'm using that term loosely, not medically. This game probably isn't for you. It doesn't have the speech going on. You gotta read shit. And the interface plays a little bit differently. One of the reasons why I like this game, one of the reasons why I originally was playing this game, was for this shit right here. You have all these classifications that are open to you. It doesn't hide anything. If you want to be a nanomage that can shoot, you know, as an augment to, yeah, I've run out of this pool. This is down to 0. I can't cast shit anymore. What am I going to do? Well, if I put a shitload of points in a shotgun, I can use a shotgun. Likewise, if you're a solo player and, you know, looking for someone to make gear for you, be a pain in the ass, well, you can come in here, buff these up, and you can make it yourself. To give you an idea how old this game is, see that in the upper left-hand corner? Yeah, That's the word / camp. That should give you an idea. If they would take the game ideas and just update them, like they, rescript old movies and make them into a new movie, this would be one of the other ones. One of the reasons why I didn't play this game all that much is because I was playing Star Wars Galaxies a lot more. So I didn't really, flesh out or get, I think in my main account that I had, I got like mid-range in, but it's kind of fun to go back when there's absolutely jack and shit on the market as far as good games. So, they had, some kind of storyline. Even if they're clunky, like all games are, where it feels a little bit more static, you still got the storyline, you still got everything else that was in the original game. You throw a little bit of ReShade in there, make it look, better than the original game, and make it playable again. And it's free to play right now, so it doesn't cost you shit. Microtransactions, stuff like that to play the game, not really. I mean, the slots that I have unlocked, the packs that I can pick up, I haven't seen anything that is restricting me from doing what the original game allowed me to do by going free to play. So I know that if you are paying the monthly sub, there's, I think, 2 more classes that are opened up to you. You do get a lot of XP bonuses and stuff like that. It's faster to develop your character. But one of the things in MMOs, I mean, that's half the that's all part of the journey, right? Is building your character, becoming attached to your character. I'm not one of those types of people that are just going to make a character on one max level inside of a day so I can play the end content, finish the game, and then sit on my ass. No, I'd rather build the character, play the game the way it was intended, and have something to occupy. It's like going to a movie, right? I mean, why do you go to a movie? To be entertained and forget about whatever the hell's going on in the real world for a while. That's what I think, MMOs or video games, it's the same thing. You're going to see a movie. This is an interactive movie. The MMOs are an interactive movie where you can associate with friends and other people that you normally wouldn't be allowed to, like you would in single player. It's just a win-win, and why would I want to speed that shit up? This is one of those games that was flushed out quite a bit, that had the storyline, had all the mechanics and stuff like that. It had a lot of competitors when it came out that came out prior to it, that I think a lot of people were still playing those and not really coming to, like Anarchy Online. Totally different genres though. You don't in the older games, you don't see a blend or a mush. I mean, look at how many WoW copies there are. That look at Battlefield, what they've done. You're talking about games that, well, shit, I'm playing this game that has all this new eye candy in it, but it's the same as the first one. Back in the day when these came out, if I was playing Star Wars Galaxies, it may have semi-similar mechanics, This one has a hell of a lot more, and they're different. They serve different purposes. This is totally different than the experience that I get playing Star Wars Galaxies. Totally different than I get playing Ultima Online. That's the old school MMO style. Is that, well, for me to get players to play my game, it has to be different than some other shit that's already out there. And that's true. You're going to have the sci-fi characters that would be more interested in this, that would be more interested in the Star Trek series than they would Star Wars, than they would Ultima Online, things like that. So each game that you play in, Christ, all of them are free to play. Galaxies has a bunch of successful servers running, even though the game itself is shut down. That it's not in any company's wheelhouse to support the game. You've got a fan base that has picked up the mantle and is supporting it. For Star Wars Galaxies, I like Legends. They do a really good job of, they wrote new content for it, Bespin. So they're active in doing that kind of shit for it. You got a lot of other servers that have opened up more planets in the Star Wars canon that you're able to play in that game. You have original experience of what the game was when it first came out, or you can play it. Okay, what's 5 years after it came out, and you can play that game. All these games are that to me. That's what I look for when I go back and play these games, because realistically, I think that the current games that come out are shit compared to the games that came out early on. When they first started developing these. Look at muds, moos, and mushes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up those terms. Those were completely text-based. And then you had, it moved into a genre of supporting those games, but you had a graphical front end to them. So you no longer had to type in, take out my knife from this fucking pouch and put it in my left hand. You could actually just drag and drop it, when it came out with a graphical interface that would interact between that and the other. New games, I think they blend too much. They try and copy models. You play one survival game, you've played them all. That's my opinion, but that's the reality of growing up with these games, where they were all different. They had different stats and things like that to them. That, one of the reasons why I keep going back to them, because, in my opinion, current day games or MMOs are shit. It's too bad they don't have a player base due to, graphics, people not wanting to put up with a clunkier combat system. Okay, so it's not, Final Fantasy where you're jumping all over the fucking screen. Doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have the content, playability, and the customizability to control my character the way that I want the character to develop. Can you do that in new games also? To an extent. I don't think it's as detailed and as flushed and is more on rails than the older games. You're also paying a price to play them. So I'll take the compromise, run a ReShade. play an older game that I think is better content than a newer game. New World is one of those games where I think it might be heading in the correct direction, but you also kind of have to be a fan of PvP. Um, if you don't like PvP, you're probably going to hate that game, because that's, and that's changed. New World's gone through what, like 3 shifts in what their end goal was. Their projected view of where the game should be. But I think they are listening to their fan base. Um, these older games, they're already flushed out. You just go in and you play them, you have fun, you screw around, get a couple friends together, and start messing around for something with free to distract you from what's going on, in this mess of a world we got going on right now, and helps entertain. But anyway, I'll get off my fucking horse now and talk to you guys later. Have a good one.